Enter. Betul.
Dia bisa orang dengan suara orang sini oh tenang kok. Bagus ana namanya foto.
Suaranya bisa saja di sana. Udah kan?
Masih.
Oh, ininya deh.
Oh yeah,
Itu.
yeah. Okay. So good morning, ladies and good afternoon. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. May I have your attention? The presentation session is about to begin. The Honorable Dr. Hundaru, their presenter, and ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first International Conference of Social Science, Humanities, Education, and Society Development, ICON 2020, fostering inclusive sustainability through the empowerment of smart human resources.
First of all, let us introduce ourselves. I am Maya Prapiana Zeni,
And I'm Sabil.
acting as the moderators in this room 2, and our discussant or reviewer is Dr. Kundaru. He will give you feedback on your presentation.
In this presentation session, we would like to have 15 presenters from various fields of study. Each presenter will be given a maximum time of 10 minutes to finish the presentation. So later I will inform you your turn and please be ready for your presentation if you become the next presenter. I'll also gently remind you 2 minutes before the time is over and please kindly end the presentation so that every presenter can deliver the presentation based on the scheduled time. Ladies and gentlemen, as the presenter are delivering their presentation, the audience and other presenter can prepare your question that you can raise in the question and answer session after all the presenter completed the presentation. Without further ado, I would like to welcome the first deliver the presentation. So for the first presenter will present his or her research on this presenter, please. So the first presenter is Mr. Hari Dika. The topic is distance learning during the pandemic period of COVID-19 with Zoom and Webex comparison. So for Mr. Hari Dika, time is yours.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Hari Dika.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you very clearly.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, wait, I will share my screen. Did you see my screen, Mr. Sabil?
Yes, Mr.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, Mr. Harry, before we started, I just want to remind you,
Yes.
for all the presenter, just we give for you the maximum time is 10 minutes to present your topics, right?
Okay.
So,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Oke, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat siang semuanya. Let me introduce my paper, Distance Learning During the Pandemic Period of COVID-19 with Zoom and Webex Comparison. My name Hari Dika. My name Hari Dika. My partner Fitriana Destiawati Suraju and my student Musa Jaya. We are from Universitas of Indraprasta PGRI Jakarta. Okay, today I will explain our research about learning management system. This is a new method in learning activity that the LMS like a Moodle point is a readiness to adjust the COVID-19 pandemic e-learning support the online learning media. Then the video conference is really needed like Zoom and Webex. So we must usually use the Zoom application and Webex application. Okay, that is the introduction. Next point, our method in my research, in our research, is point one is analyzing LMS, learning management system, and implementation of video conferencing. We use the learning management system in video conferencing. So we use the next point is qualitative descriptive method, like find the object, condition, stroke system, function. Okay, next point is register object, like a teacher, a student, and parent. There is three component in our research. This location is Jawa until Bali. There is 10 school in Jawa, Bali. The senior high school is object our research. Okay, next, result and discussion. First point, we get the interactive with is learning online web, learning media, and we need application and Zoom and Webex comparison, that we know the most powerful of or the most used Zoom, the most used application, many to use. And next point, web e-learning and video conferencing for electronic learning, like Webex and Zoom comparison is many advantage or many result each application. As we know, in January 2019, total population in Indonesia is 2068 billion. Then there is mobile subscription bigger than our population. Okay, this is the essential headline data media use, and this is the device usage. Mobile phone is a very popular user. Then we know learning management system, it can be used in the mobile phone. Okay, next, this is especially Zoom and Webex. As we know today, we are use a Zoom. This is, I think, not basic. This is sample just for a basic application. If Zoom can upgrade or can use until 100 participants, but the professional edition can use until 1,000 user or 1,000 participant. With same with Webex, there is just for a basic application can up to 500 participant. User interface, their application comparison Zoom and Webex. Zoom is very simple but different with Webex. Webex is complex. Okay, support conference feature, web feature, super integration, security until basic price. There is a different that we know in senior high school, like SMAN 22 Bandung, like another school, simple school. There is a use Zoom application, most popular Zoom application, different Webex. Okay, but provide ease of use. The two application is Zoom and Webex, but provide ease of use, feature function properly for the implementation of learning. Then next point is different method can increase student interest. So the learning must be interactive. Next point, to enhance distance learning activity. Okay, this is the conclusion. LMS, Learning Management System, can apply electronic learning by realizing an elective learning system during the COVID-19 pandemic. Video conferencing applications are very important by providing assurance in the presence and participation of students in online class conduct by the teacher. Easiness for teacher to provide knowledge and teaching to make it better and more perfect during the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, thank you. That's it. Just it, Mr. Sabil.
Okay, thank you
I
very
give
much
you back.
for Mr. Heridika. So the topic is really quite good, interesting. So that's really super for us. And the next presenter will be performed is Miss Nufiar. Is it Miss Nufiar, right? Hello, Miss Nufiar, are you hear us? Uh, for Miss Yufiar,
No,
Nufiar,
are here.
are you here?
If it is nothing, we go to the next.
So okay. I think Miss Nufiar not responding yet, so we will change to the next part. Presenter is Mr. Masbur, right? So for the Mr. Masbur, do you hear us? Can you hear us? Hello? So, the next is Mr. Muhammad Hollis. Is that here? So for all the presenter, please join the room too. If you are the presenter from this, wait a minute. Oh, okay. Mr. Kenny Ardila. Hello. Okay. For all the presenter, so please your attention. If the presenter that we call is not respond, I think we will change the presenter who already in this room. Okay, to minimize the time that waste our time in here. The next is Mr. Kenny Ardila. Hello.
Can you hear us? Mr. Kenny?
Mr. Kenny Ardila already in here, but it's not responding. For the Mr. Kenny Ardila. Hello.
Okay, hello.
Okay. Okay, for the Mr. Kenny Ardila, the topic is Environment Accounting and Reporting Case Study of Accounting Education in Indonesia, right? From university that included in his first university ranking. So, okay, for Mr. Kenny Ardila, so time is yours. Thank you.
Okay. Think- Wait a minute. Sometimes. sorry. I must search my slide before because my time is 2:10 of 2:10. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, it's okay. So because all the presenter in here that is not coming in this room yet, and then we will change the schedule. So for all the presenter, please be prepare your presentation.
Okay. Sorry. I think in my slide is.
Oh, Mr. Hendy Tanandi, you already joined in room 2, right?
Yes, already joined it.
Okay, for Mr. Kenny Ardila, do you want to present first or let Mr. Hendy Tanadi present?
Let Mr. Handy present first because I need to search slide.
So I'm sorry before Mr. Hendy Tanadi, I already called you for the 2 times, but you not respond
Oh,
yet.
sorry.
But,
I've been
okay, it's okay,
in
it's
meeting
okay.
previously.
So for Mr. Hendy Tanadi, are you ready to present your presentation?
Oh, okay. Let me share my slide.
Okay, so let I call all the presenter. For Miss Noviar is already in here. Not yet. Okay. The next presenter is Mr. Hendy Tanadi. The topic is how to improve performance of lecturer, a case study of School of Health Science in capital city of Indonesia. So okay, Mr. Hendy Tanadi, the time is yours.
Boss, can you see my slide?
Yes, I can see your slide clearly.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Hendy from Universitas Pembangunan Jaya. Thank you for the time to present my research here and share with all you guys, academicians in Indonesia. The title of my research is how to improve performance of lecturer. I take a case study of School of Health Sciences in capital city of Indonesia. Dear host, is my voice clear?
Yes, Mr. Your voice is really so clear.
My voice is clear. The background of this research is we believe that a strong nation is very determined by the quality of human resources, especially regarding health. Through 9 Nawacita programs launched by the government, uh, I think the government is determined to develop Indonesia from periphery by strengthening villages. The government is also determined to improve human quality and human productivity and competitiveness of people in Indonesia. Surely this program will be difficult to implement without health insurance for the Indonesian people. Mm, Quality of human resources in the health sector is certainly influenced by the quality of graduates from institutions which focusing on health or medical sciences. And I think quality of graduates is strongly influenced by the performance of home-based lecturers at each of these institutions. The performance of lecturers also contributes to the performance of institutions. One of the institutions that produce human resources that have expertise in the field of health is School of Health Sciences. We call this institution in Indonesia uh, STIKES, ya, Sekolah Tinggi Ilmu Kesehatan. Data obtained from forlab.ristekdikti.go.id from 499 lecturers of STIKES in Jakarta. Most of lecturers have the educational background as master degree. Uh, Around 70% doctoral degree, 4%, and 3% of lecturers still diploma, and 19 something percent of lecturers still bachelor's degree as their highest educational background. This data shows that there is a problem in terms of the level of education of lecturers of stickers, especially in Jakarta. In terms of academic level, uh, we call this JAD, jenjang academic dosen. About 71.50 something percent still do not have academic degrees. 20% asisten ahli, 6% selector, and 0.2% lektor kepala or associate professor. This data shows that there are problems in terms of academic levels of lecturer. More than 50% of lecturers of STIKES still don't have JAD. We conducted survey on 100 students and 100 lecturers to identify motivation and performance of lecturers. Data from the survey shows that on average, 45.8% of respondents are still unsatisfied, and 16.4 of respondents still very dissatisfied with the motivation of lecturers. Mm, about 51 of respondents stated that lecturers are not motivated in the field of social activities, and 52 of 5% of respondents lecturers have not a good performance. Mm, the purpose of this research, basically we categorize into these points. One, we analyze the effect of all independent variables partially and simultaneously toward mediating variable. And the second is we analyze the effect of all independent and mediating variables on dependent variable. Independent variable involve organizational culture, self-efficacy, and leadership. While mediating variable, we use motivation, work motivation, and dependent variable, lecturer performance. Type of studies descriptive and verificative. Operationally, the measurement of variable of self-efficacy using three dimension, magnitude, generality, and strength. Measurement of organizational culture, we use five dimensions: innovation and risk taking, attention to detail, orientation to the result, orientation to human resources, and performance culture. The measurement of leadership, we use three dimensions: academic leader, institutional leader, and administration leader. About work motivation, we use two dimensions: motivator factors and hygiene factors. Measurement of performance, we use three dimensions:
Nang?
education and teaching, research, and
Nang di?
community service.
Hah?
Total number
Kue
of
anu sing
indicators
ade.
is 65
Wis
indicators.
ora ya? Iya.
We divided
Anu sing
the
ade.
type of data into primary and secondary data. Secondary is information relating to the environmental condition of universities in especially Jakarta, such as number of institution in each region or cities in Indonesia, number of accredited institution, number of lecturers, and so forth. The sample size is determined using purposive sampling judgment. The population of lecturers, STICUS lecturers is 365. The samples is 325 lecturers. This is the parameter of quality data test, involve validity test, reliability test, normality test, and
Kopet.
uh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 parameters of structural model test.
So excuse me for Mr. Uh, Hendi Tanedi, for Dr. Hendi Tanedi. I just want to remember you for all the presenter will
Sorry.
wait for 10 minutes.
The picture shows the conclusions of its hypothesis. Hypothesis 1 states that self-efficacy has a positive and significant effect on work motivation. We can see that SLF value 0.46 and T value greater than 1.96 indicates that hypothesis 1 accepted. Hypothesis 2, organizational culture has a positive and significant effect on work motivation of lecturers. SLF value 0.16 and T value 2.88. I think hypothesis 2 can be accepted, so that improvements in organizational culture will increase the motivation of the lecturers. This finding is in line with Kamarudin et al. 2015, who found that organizational culture can improve lecturers' work motivation. Hypothesis 3, leadership has a positive and significant effect on work motivation. This hypothesis also can be accepted. Hypothesis 4, we can see that three of those variables, self-efficacy, leadership, and organizational culture, R values 0.43 and F count 11.26 greater than 3.84, indicate that this hypothesis can be accepted. Hypothesis 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 also conclude that all of those hypotheses can be accepted. Let me jump to the conclusion. If self-efficacy, especially dimension of magnitude, organizational culture, and leadership, especially in dimension of academic leadership, can be synergized, it will be able to provide a positive and significant influence on increasing work motivation of home-based lecturers of STICUS in Jakarta. However, considering that self-efficacy is the most dominant variable in influencing work motivation, I think the priority of improvement is more focused on the variable of self-efficacy, specifically on dimension of magnitude. Self-efficacy, organizational culture, leadership, and work motivation have a positive and significant effect on the performance of home-based lecturers uh, of speakers in Jakarta. About my recommendation, in order to
Oci apa
increase
ya,
work
Pak?
motivation, self-efficacy is the most dominant variable in
Oci ya
influencing work
2020.
motivation. Indicator of
Ya,
confidence in ability of
dulu.
teaching, research, community service have an average value of less than the total average variable of
Kurang anu
self-efficacy.
ya ngon sing
So
titik.
it is suggested that
Titik.
management of speakers conducts like training or seminars or personal counseling periodically
I'm
to permanent
sorry.
lecturers in
Excuse
order
me,
to
Mr.
improve
Hindi
confidence
Tanadi.
and ability
The time
capable
is
of
over.
teaching, research, and community service.
Hello.
It is
Pardon, Mr.
we
Hindi
are also
Tanadi.
recommended that management be more selective in holding recruitment system for lecturers, so that the selection system can truly select and accept
Excuse
lecturers
me, Mr.
who
Hindi
have good
Tanadi.
skills, so that good skills
Can you
will
hear my voice?
be
Hello.
increase the level of self confidence of the lecturers. I think that's all from me.
Okay. For the all the presenter, so you can hear my voice. Hello. Excuse me for all the presenter in here. Do you can hear my voice?
Yes, yes, I can, I can.
Okay. So let I call all the presenter in here. First of all is Miss Nufiar. Hello. Still not responding. Mr. Masbur. It's not responding yet. For Mr. Muhammad Khalis. Mr. Sanusi. It's not responding.
Halo Pak.
Accounting education in Indonesia. Okay, for Mr. Kenny Ardila, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you. I will share my presentation. Environmental accounting and reporting case study of accounting education in with their background. I will share the three survey that second is describe the number of undergraduate and postgraduate program that integrate environmental accounting. And then the third is describe the number and the proportion of courses outside the traditional concept of social and environmental accounting that join other fields of science, social science. And then the fourth is explaining learning method for course that integrated with environmental accounting concept and reporting. And the fifth one is describe the average number of scientific publication on environmental sustainability every year for 3 years in internal journals. And the sixth one is describe the number of activities or events involving students related to environmental sustainability. And seventh one is describe the number of student organization or association related to environmental sustainability. The eighth one is describe the availability of the sustainability website and sustainability report on college websites. And the ninth one is explaining the existence of awards received by universities related to environmental sustainability. And the benefit of the research will be divided into three main benefit: contribution to theory development, which provide related to educational curriculum that play a long-term role in building character and understanding of students, who contribute to solving problems related to environment. The second one related to practice contribution, we are providing understand the students who are studying while in college to initiate educational curriculum that includes understanding of environmental issues, and the policy contribution will be providing awareness to the government, realizing the importance of sustainability issues. And the theoretical framework will be, you can see the summary here. Especially maybe I will start with the second one is social and environmental accounting is defined as accounting system to promote a sustainability strategy. And maybe I will explain the key S word. Key S word uh, will be the indicator that summarize global university performance according to key aspect of university visions and missions. And then I will be explain the, maybe I will skip because it has been explained in the purpose of the research. And then the method of the research, the subject of the research is our universities in Indonesia, which include in 2019 key Oxford University ranking. And the universities divided into nine universities that will be uh, made in 2019 key Oxford University rankings. University of Indonesia, Bandung Institute of Technology, Gajah Mada University, Pajajaran University, Bogor Agricultural Institute, Airlangga University, Diponegoro University, and 10 November Institute of Technology. And sorry, the last one is Brawijaya University. The object of the research will be concerned in accounting education curriculum that integrate environmental accounting concept and reporting in Indonesia universities that entered 2019 key Oxford University ranking. And the research collection method through literature study with the type of study is qualitative. Uh, and the data will be taken from publication on college websites and other external sources. And maybe I will share the result and conclusion. The result will be long because I describe the details about the 9 purpose of the research in all the universities that include in Oxford University. So I'll skip and maybe I will share the conclusion. The conclusion will be divided into 10 with the suitable with the my purpose of the research. The first conclusion is 4 out of 9 or 44.44% institution included into 2019 key Oxford ranking university, UI, Pajajaran, 10 November Institute of Technology, Brawijaya, and Brawijaya have integrated course related to environmental accounting and reporting. At the undergraduate and postgraduate, with the average 1.24% in Bachelor of Accounting Study Program and Bachelor of Economic and Development Studies. And the subject The title of the subject will vary from university to another university, which namely sustainability reporting and environmental auditing, integrated sustainability and reporting, corporate social responsibility, social accounting, and so on. And the second conclusion is 3 out of 9, 33.33% institution that included into 2019 Sport and Ranking University, UI, IPB, Bogor Agricultural University, and Diponegoro implements the study program that are still relevant to sustainability and environmental, with namely the Master of Master of the Economics with concentration of natural resource and environment, Bachelor of Economics with concentration of resource and environment, and Bachelor of Economic and Development Studies with the concentration in resource economic. And the third is all institutions 100% included in 2019 Sport Ranking University already have courses outside the concept of environmental accounting and reporting other than social that join other social science, including project management for sustainable development, environmental economic, and so on. And then the fourth one is all colleagues 100% included in 2019 Sport Ranking University apply classroom teaching method in explaining subject related to environmental accounting and reporting. And the fifth one is as many as 9 of 10, of 9, sorry, 77.78% already have research publication, with the highest publication with the topic of environmental accounting reporting is Diponegoro University. And Pajajaran and the Institute of Technology 10 November do not have research publication according related to environmental accounting and reporting. And then the sixth one is all institutions have an adequate number of activities related to environmental sustainability.
Arkila,
Okay,
hello. Mr.
okay,
Ken,
okay.
I think the time is over.
Oh, okay. See.
Okay.
Okay, you can see this remaining one and from the 7th until 10th. Thank you.
Okay. So, thank you very much for Mr. Kenny Arkila. So I think Mr. Kundaru are already joined with us in here. So hello, Mr. Kundaru.
Are you with us?
Dr. Kundaru Sadono.
Yes.
Okay, Dr. Kundaru Sadono. So you already joined with us in room 2. So I think I just want to say sorry for the latest participant who already presents. So Mr. Dr. Kundaru already joined with us. So maybe Mr. Kundaru will give some review for the latest presentation, or maybe do you want to review on the last presentation?
I will do last presentation. Presenter, so I can give my review.
Okay, for latest presentation, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. So before we continue the next presentation, so I just want to calling the presenter who already joined with us. So first of all is Miss Nufiar. Hello. Are you already joined with us? Not yet. So for Mr. Masbur. Hello. Not yet. For Mr. Muhammad Khalis. Not yet. Mr. Sanusi, do you already join with us in here? Mr. Sanusi. Okay. So the next presenter will be Mr. Adi Prihanto. Mr. Adi Prihanto, do you already join with us in room 2?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello.
So yeah, before started, I just want to remind you for all the presenter in here will be given time of the 10 minutes. Uh, before we started, so do you already hear my voice?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Adi Prihanto. Yeah. Okay, the topic is a curriculum development of coffee barista education, right? Okay,
Good.
for Mr. Adi Prihanto, the time is yours.
Uh, Thank you very much for the moderator, but I need time to share screen first, yeah.
Okay.
Kecilnya om. Kecilnya bakar.
Okay. Thank you very much for the moderator. Especially thank you very much for Pancasakti University of Tegal, and then thank you very much for the host. Thank you very much for the moderator, and thank you very much for the participants for joining here. Let me introduce myself. My name is Adi Prihanto. Now I'm the lecturer in Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia, especially in kampus daerah Tasikmalaya. Now I would like to present. Definitely, this is my research. It's about curriculum development, coffee barista education. First of all, because the time is so limited, it's about the 10 minutes. Maybe I just would like to share my research. It's not a whole package, but it's just like it's only the important things. Okay. Okay. For this research, titled curriculum development coffee barista education. Okay, for the presentation, first I will give the introduction, and then upon the research method, finding, discussion, and closing. But what the aspect of the focus on this research, definitely only three things. First is about the general background, and then it's about the introduction itself, and then about the problems, and then I will give the solution. Definitely my solution is based on the research itself. Okay, first for introduction is about the coffee production. Based on my educational background, definitely I'm in curriculum development and instructional design. This is one part of my background study, definitely. Coffee, that Indonesia one of the largest coffee producers in the world. Definitely, I took this data from International Coffee Organization (BBC) that Indonesia as the big five as the largest producer of coffee. This is our potential sources, definitely. You know that for the trends, in Indonesia, coffee is very popular, and coffee is very attractive for us, definitely. Yeah, because this as our potential resource, you know that we have to develop it. And then one of profession in coffee barista, in coffee cafe, it's called like barista. Barista is one of a profession definitely who make coffee base, definitely. And if you like drinking coffee, you know that a barista itself will have competencies, many competencies. Not only making coffee, not only making maybe coffee and milk, but anything. But definitely this is our problem, definitely. Barista is not only prepare coffee-based drinking, not only that, but this is the problem, definitely. When some of barista, they don't have competence like from communication, and then from give hospitality, something like that. I took definitely this research I took in Semarang, one of my city in Central Java, and then I took some places over there, and then I only found two cafes or two schools or two classes about the Paris stuff. So it's really limitless when there is no room, there is no schools, or there is no courses for the barista, professional barista. Okay, you know that this is it's not the good things that how to be a good barista, how to be a professional barista. A professional barista is not only making coffee. A professional barista is not only making something like making coffee with the other skills, with other tools, something like that. For example, only with the V60 method or manual brew method or something like that. But also, a professional barista, he or she could speak politely, could speak good with the customer, something like give the like a good service. This is a problem definitely as a barista itself. So you know what, education definitely give like I call it like bekal in Indonesia. In bahasa Indonesia it's called bekal. Bekal is mean that something you bring from home. If we are students, bring from home, and then we go in schools, that's called bekal. And then for the bekal itself, we can eat something, we can have something from that. So pendidikan or education itself is like bekal or provision. So education should be prepared students or persons or maybe people to have a good future. Not only give the cognitive aspect, not only give a knowledge itself, but also give the many competencies. Attitude also is really included, and then skills really necessary. And then education should be not make the people think again confused. And then it's not about the confused how I can work, but also the education itself also has to make a person to be professional. Not only when you graduated from schools or maybe from university, then you don't know what you do. That's really worse if you know that. That's one of the function of education, when it's preparing someone, preparing people live from the schools to be a good worker or to be good or professional worker. So how to make a professional worker, how to make a professional barista itself. Okay, this is the key curriculum. This is one aspect of curriculum based on Hamid Hassan.
Excuse me, Mr. Adi Prihanto, you have 1 minute left to deliver your topic.
Thank you very much. This is the point. Definitely curriculum development is very important, it's really necessary. Okay. There are 4 things. This been based on Hamid Hassan. How to develop a curriculum. First, goals. 2, content. Content is about the materials or subjects. Third is about the process. Process about the method. What you want to do with your students. And the last one is about evaluation. Evaluation is not only about the result, learning, but also about the whole package. So this is my product. It's about a guideline, curriculum barista education guideline. There are 2 things. This curriculum itself, a structured curriculum, and then a lesson plan, and the last one is a handbook. So this curriculum development is very good, is really important, because can create it from the first zero barista become a professional barista.
Okay, Mr. Adi Prihanto, I think the time is up.
Okay, thank you very much for the moderator.
For Mr. Adi Prihanto, thank you very much for the Amazing presentation. So the next is Mr. Trimulyono. For the Mr. Trimulyono, can you hear my voice? Are you already joined in room 2? For Mr. Trimulyono, hello, can you hear my voice? So for Mr. Trimulyono, the topic is the value of religious character education on the children poetry by character education values in Indonesia children poems. For Mr. Trimulyono, are you ready? Hello, Mr. Trimulyono. Okay, I think Mr. Trimulyono not ready yet. For Mr. Basukianto, can you hear my voice? Mr. Basukianto? Hello, Mr. Basukianto? Oh, sorry. Mr. Basukiatno? Excuse me, Mr. Basukiatno? Are you ready? Okay, next is Mr. Selo Amihan. Mr. Selo Amihan, can you hear my voice? Hello? For all
Yes,
present,
hello.
yeah, can you hear my voice, Mr. Selo Amihan?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay. For Mr. Selo Amihan, the topic is the key efficient for resilient in the new normal self-teaching practice. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. For Mr. Selo Ramihan, the time is yours.
Thank you. Please allow me to share my screen. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I am Dr. Amihan from the Philippines, from the University of System Delta. Thank you for the invitation and allow me to present my paper entitled the QA vaccine. QA is quality assurance for resilience in the new normal. These are SEL teaching practices plus E services of the institution. So just to provide you a context of my topic, we understand that we now are under a pandemic, and because of that, it has caused many disruptions. The education sector has really been hit hard, and that's the reason why we need to respond and we need to continue to find ways so that we would remain to be relevant and offer relevant and responsive education. And that's where quality assurance should come in. The aim of quality assurance, even before the pandemic, was focused on providing quality services and quality education so that we could have quality of learning. However, quality assurance is also suffering in the times of crisis, but we need the quality assurance, it should maintain its function and role so that it could provide what it intends to provide. And looking ahead, keeping the end in mind with regards to what should be done in context of the pandemic and with the disruptions, it is the role of quality assurance to provide resilience in education. And basically, it should be tied with two things. To provide resilience to the educational sectors, it should promote socio-emotional learning for both for the faculty and then the learners. And at the same time, in the delivery of the services, we should be able to adapt and adjust through the delivery of services of all its component programs. So with regards to the SEL, I use this kind of framework from the Center of Great Teachers and Leaders wherein it shows that a faculty, a teacher, should possess the social and emotional skills. And it should be reflected in his or her manner of teaching so that it would be translated also to the learners. So it would be through two things, through his or her social interaction and his instructional interactions with the students, so that it would be reflected that in the manner of delivery of instructional services, it would have it would contain student-centered discipline. It would also reflect on the language that he or she would be using, the responsibility and choice, warmth and support. That's with regards to the social interaction with the learners, especially during this time of the pandemic and the new normal. And with regards to instruction, it should also provide students with cooperative learning tasks, discussions in the classroom, self-assessment, balanced instruction, academic present expectations, and competence building. So pretty, these are the framework that really uh, form basis of the study. I just hope that someone is not muting himself. I just hope that the background noise would be minimized so that everyone could understand what I'm trying to say. Thank you for that. So the objectives of the study are the following. First, I would want to know the profile of the online students. We need to start with that, understanding the present situation of the students, but mainly because in the later part of the objectives of the study, there would be a deeper analysis with regards to comparisons. Another is the level of quality of e-services the institution provides, the extent of implementation of the following SEL practices, which I mentioned earlier. And then I'll try to compare if there's a difference in the assessment with regards to the level of quality of e-services when you try to group the respondents according to their profile, and also with regards to the SEL practices. And then finally, I'll try to connect the two groups of variables, the SEL practices and the quality of e-services. There should be a sync, and that's one thing that I would want to determine and verify. So this study is a comparative correlational study. It seeks really to identify whether there is variation when you try to group them according to their profile. At the same time, I'll try to establish connections between the variables SEL practices and also with regards to the quality of e-services being provided by the institution. The total number of respondents is 327. It would yield a 0.99 achieved power, pretty powerful, having a medium effect size using a particular software for computing of sample size. And in the analysis of data through the data gathered through the tool for teachers in self-assessing social and emotional instruction and competencies. This is the main reference really. I just try to convert it and try to analyze whether it's applicable in a particular context of the institution. So it's composed of three parts, mainly profile, SEL practices, and another will be on the quality of e-services. And it's based, the responses would range from 1 to 4, and the Cronbach's alpha for the two would be 0.983 and 0.988. And the data were being analyzed using frequency, weighted mean, and fractional ranking. This would be for the descriptives. And then for the comparison, I had the t-test and ANOVA, and then Pearson R was for the correlation analysis. So with the new normal, I also adapted on how I tried to gather the data. I used an e-survey using Google Forms. So this is the first result with regards to the profile. You could pretty see here that the bulk of the responses come from the allied health and the social sciences departments. With regards to the year level, the bulk would be coming from the first and then the second years. So we could say that these are students that are still on their way of trying to adapt and adjust to the college life, and yet here they are now trying to adapt to a new normal, which is something very new. With regards to their assessment on the quality of education of the institution through the delivery of e-services, these are the following e-services. It has been noted that overall it's good and all the other specific indicators are good. However, we'll try to zero in on the top two and then the bottom two. The respondents found it good on the highest would be for the virtual administrators and the online instruction. So we could say that these are probably the strengths of the institution and that the institution have really adapted well with regards to delivering instruction with regards to the in context of e-services. However, it's reported that the respondents were not really that satisfied with how the institution delivered e-services through the virtual faculty and the virtual library. It's based on their assessment. Now, with regards to teaching for SEL, particularly for social interaction, with the following indicators, all are being implemented well. Although you'd want to note here the teacher language is the highest. It's the same with instructional interaction. All are implemented well, and we need to note here that they are pretty close to each other, highlighting cooperative learning and balance and self-assessment and self-reflection as the two highest means, although they are well under the interpretation of implemented well. Now let's try to see if there are significant differences with regards to the assessment. With regards to quality of services, and it's actually consistent to social emotional learning teaching. The respondents, when you try to group them according to profile, both of them do not really have significant differences in their assessments when you try to group them according to cluster. And the cluster is their course or their degree taken up in the college level. However, when we try to analyze, try to group their, uh, we try to classify them according to year level, it was found out that the first years, both for quality of services and SEL teaching, assessed higher compared to those second and third year. So there would only be two distinct groups here. So the main distinction really is for the first years, having a higher assessment with regards to quality of services. They think that the institution has really delivered well and adjusted well with regards to delivering quality education in the new normal, including the SEL teaching. So, and finally, would there be a connection between the two? The result was that since the p-value is less than 0.05 and the r values are actually ranging from 0.40 to 0.60, we could say that there is positive strong relationship between all the indicators of the quality of e-services and all the indicators of SEL teaching. It's pretty consistent. So really, it's being established that when an institution would really deliver the services well, especially in this time of pandemic, it is also expected and there's a tendency that the students would have resilience through adoption of SEL competencies. So for the conclusions, I could say that the first would be online students are young. They
So,
are,
me, Mr. Salilo,
yes,
I think the time is out.
okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. I'll just try to browse this over. Okay, so thank you and good afternoon once again.
Okay, thank you very much for Mr. Salilo from Philippines. So the next is oh, Mr. Trimulyono. Hello, can you hear my voice?
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Trimulyono.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, your voice is really so clear to hear. So, Mr. Trimulyono, the topic is character education for use in Indonesian children's poems.
Takot si Arian eh. Ay, sorry.
And
Okay. Okay.
develop.
Uh,
Okay, Mr. Trimulyono, the
Ready?
topic is yours.
yeah, ladies and gentlemen, in here I will presentation character education for in Indonesia children poem. Introduction. Hidayatullah stated that character education is absolute necessary for Indonesia. It's because Indonesia has long been doing various less productive habits for shaping an excellent country. Sugiarto means for five trivial habits that can destroy the progress of this country. The trivial habit men are as regards person, environment, economic, and social aspect. The habit in regard to person aspect of underestimating time, getting up late, coming late to work, lack of discipline, and procrastination. The uncovering of environmental aspect are smoking everywhere, littering, graffiti vandalism, upheaval atmosphere in the streets, nail on trees, and accident related corrosion. The next related to economic aspect of consumer behavior, showing off on waste of electricity every of their papers of the one concerning social aspect are during rating, nepotism, bribery, the politic of of capital, forgetting the history and get fight. Research methodology. This research was been by using descriptive method and objective approach. Primary data with each poemlet obtained for a poem complaint created by Abdurrahman Faiz entitled Aku Ini Puisi Cinta. The data was collected by using read and note technique. In this poem completion, there are two poem title. Research and discussion. The research results show that character education for in Indonesia children poem are faith, car, cooperation, percentage, amar ma'ruf, nahi mungkar, stay, reflection, vision, and passion. In one, fight. The character education follow fight in found in four poem title. The four poem title men are My Father and Mother, Muhammad Ayat 4, Layer for El Man in the World, and Where is My Gratitude? In the poem, entitled My Father and Mother, for example. Into car. The character education follow car in are found in Indonesia children poem. In Indonesia children poems, the character education car in four in two poem title, which are Harry Potter and For Teacher. In three, cooperation. Cooperation in a character education follow found in Indonesia children poem. The character education form cooperation in found in the poem entitled Order of the Ants. In the poem in the Order of the Ants, the character education follow cooperation in show on 5 follower. In 4, persistent. Participate in the character education follow on found in Indonesia character poem. In Indonesian children's poem, the character education follow inform in three poem title. The three poem title are Siti and Udin the Treat, The Seven Word on My Beat, and Dream in the Highway. Amar Ma'ruf. The character education for Amar Ma'ruf in Indonesia children's poem in found in three poem title. The three poem title, My Player Today, The Poet, and My Best Friend is Book. In the poem is My Player Today, for example. Technicity. Technicity. The character education followed technicity is all found in Indonesia children's poem. On Indonesia children's poem, the character follow technicity is found in a poem entitled Mother Went to American. Reflection. The character education follow reflection in found in a poem entitled The Mother's Way. Nahi Mungkar. The character education follow Nahi Mungkar or an effort to prevent bad deed in art found in Indonesian children's poem. In Indonesia children's poems, Nahi Mungkar is found in poem entitled From an Era Kecil in My Dream for Bus. The Poet and the Auntie were poem. Vision. Vision and Angket to character education found in Indonesia children poem. In Indonesia children poems, the character education follow in found in the poem entitled The Tale of Television. Selanjutnya partition. The character education follow practice in found in poem until father us and so in this follower question. Conclusion. Based on the explained above, it can be called that the character education for in Indonesia children poem are fight, car, cooperation, partisipan, amar ma'ruf, nahi mungkar, reflection, vision, and parties. Those follow expansely of found in the Indonesian children poem by Abdurrahman Faiz entitled I am Aku Ini Puisi Cinta. Okay.
So, okay, thank you very much for Mr. Trimulyono for the excellent presentation. The next is, wait a minute. The next is Miss Ariana Kate Amlansigan from Philippines.
Hello?
Can you hear my voice?
Yes, yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear your voice. Okay. For the topic in here is learning in the new hybrid model of education, understanding the emotional intelligence, right?
Yes.
So, okay, for Miss Ariani,
Mm-hmm.
the time is yours.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Alright, so good afternoon, everybody. My name is Arian and I am from University of Perpetual Health System, Delta Calamba from the Philippines. And I'm here to present my PowerPoint or my presentation on my paper entitled Learning in the New Hybrid Model of Education, Understanding the Emotional Intelligence of New PhD Calamba students in the new normal. So, hold on, sorry. With the background and the significance of the study, of course, with the current situation and pandemic that we're experiencing, I have come up with the title or I come up with this study to further understand the emotional intelligence of the students specifically in our university or in your school, for us to be able to understand if there are actually difference with regard to EQ compared for those students who experience face-to-face classes and for those who are enrolled now in online classes. So since the pandemic started this January 2020, the school actually started implementing online education, wherein students are participating or attending their classes through online platforms and as well as their faculty. And to be honest, there are a lot of news and stories that were shared by students when I was doing the study and also when I was, watching TV and news and looking for stories or data for to support this title or this study. And I came up with the few objectives. The first one is in this study, we want to identify the students' understanding of their emotional quotient or emotional intelligence while they are engaged in online education. Second is we want to describe the change in EI, which is emotional intelligence, from face to face to new normal. And lastly, based on the findings of the study, we are also aiming to determine an emotional intelligence guide for college students to be beneficial for the school and universities as well. In this study, we used or the researchers used the framework analysis method. I was actually thinking of including phenomenological framework, but I think having phenomenological and framework analysis will be overlapping, so we just decided with framework analysis because we discovered that there are actually four attributes that is included in emotional intelligence, which I will discuss later. We considered selected four college students from each department. We actually have 12 college departments in our university, and we come up with a total of 48 respondents. And the 48 respondents, of course, had to go on pre-qualifications. First one, of course, they should be enrolled in the university and they should be performing or doing their online classes as well. And we use interview questions during FGD or focus group discussion done through Zoom because, of course, we are limited to Meet. And I think that is the best way for us to get information and data from them. So with the conceptual framework, like what I have mentioned earlier, with EI or emotional quotient, there are actually four attributes, which are self-management, self-awareness, social awareness, and relationship management. And as for the framework analysis method, you have to be familiarized, okay, with the concepts that you encountered during during understanding the recorded FGD, and you have to come up with different themes. Now, with this study, we actually formed four themes. Okay, and that is what we had in our findings of the study. So the four themes are: number one is uncertainty, self-reliance, the social intelligence, and the opportunities. So if you will look into these tables, actually, we can see that there are imbalance and balances when it comes to dealing emotional intelligence and while in online education. And we can conclude that with that four themes, there is a relation with the emotional intelligence and the occurrence of these students in online education. And you can clearly understand the idea of emotional intelligence, or the students who responded from the study clearly understand that they still possess not maybe not all of the three attributes, but at least not maybe not all four of the attributes, but at least three of it. Okay, and they have realization as well in terms of the development of their EQs. And for them, with the transcribed uh, answers from the FGD, we came up with the four themes because these four themes are the most answered or the most common concept or idea that we can conclude. Okay, I'll just give you one example. For example, in self-reliance. when you see self-reliance or as defined from the FT or as defined from the students, they say that self-reliance is actually new to them because of the online education. They tend to be dependent on themselves compared to where they doing face-to-face classes, that they can depend on their students, of course, and with their teachers or the faculty members. But for them, they eventually, some of them learn, some of them improve, or some of them just develop self-reliance or independence in themselves. Okay? And with this, also they mention a lot of concepts or ideas about group system appreciation. That some of them are actually aware that they can work with groups rather than with just themselves. And also, under self reliance is the relationship with themselves, having reflections from what they actually, how they participated with face to face classes compared to their participation in online classes, and empathy to their situation, and empathy towards their classmates, because some of them are aware that they are in different situations, like for example, like the situations in internet connection, technologies, or even the gadgets or the mechanisms that they are using. And thank you for that for listening for my presentation today. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for Miss Aryani for the um, presentation. So the next is Mr. Dr. Benny Habibi. Are you here? Hello, Mr. Dr. Habib. Mr. Dr. Benny Habibi. Are you with us? Okay, not respond. Miss Nuviar, are you here? Mr. Masbur, okay, Mr. Muhammad Halis, hello. So for Mr. Basukiyatno, are you here? So Mr. Benny Habibi, you are here, right? Halo Pak Benny. For Dr. Sanusi, hello everyone.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, so for the presenter is not available here, so I want to back to Mr. Dr. Kundaru. Are you still with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. So you can review for the presenter before.
Okay, I will review all paper, but not detail ya, because I just the flash.
Yeah. Okay, that's okay.
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 My
For
impression after seeing the presentation of the speaker, all attractive with their respective characteristic, but I will profit book to make the paper better. Like the title section is not interesting for all presenters, but there is something interesting in the presentation. For example, barista education is interesting for me. from Mr. I am forgetting Barista Education, and the background section to the profit an overview of the state of the art, novelty, and urgency. But I see all the present not show all state of the art, novelty, and urgency. And there are still many parts of the method that have been not been explained in the detail, even though this is very important. The detail in research method is very important. A speaker must be able to distinguish between research and discussion. Research is the result of the research, but discussion and comparison of the research with research another research. So we can make a better research is for our research, but discuss is compare with another research. So we can find the novelty. It's very important for paper show the novelty in their paper, and in can mention in conclusion. Okay, there is his result in discussion and conclusion, but I can explain better because the presenter is fast so slide, yeah. Maybe just set my review on the title, the background section, and part of the methods, more detail, and makes different between research and discussion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the review of Mr. Kundaru Sadono. So, if Mr. Penny Habibi and Mr. Sanusi here but didn't respond us, so I will go to the next session. This is Q&A session. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give our best appreciation for all the presenters for their informative and great presentations. That finally, all of the presenters have delivered their presentation. Now we come to question and answer session. In this session, I give opportunity to participants and presenters to ask questions to another presenter for about 20 minutes. Then for another 20 minutes, our discussion will give a brief review on the research presentations. Now, I'll give the opportunity to participants and presenters to ask questions by typing on the chat box. Please write your name, institution, and question briefly addressed to presenter 1, 2, and so on. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you can text your question in the chat box, please.
Oke, mohon maaf untuk semua peserta yang sudah bergabung di room 2 ini. Kita sudah memasuki sesi tanya jawab. Untuk Anda semua yang ingin bertanya, bisa langsung saja menulis di chat box. Dan kami akan membacakan beberapa pertanyaan, terutama juga untuk para presenter juga. Untuk peserta yang sudah bergabung di grup 2, silakan menulis pertanyaan yang akan Anda tanyakan kepada para presenter. Maka bisa dilakukan sekarang. Terima kasih. So, okay, this is the first question from Shilo Amihan from Philippines, PhD. Question to Sir Adi Prihanto. Not really much of a question, but a request for the main result of your study since it was not fully presented due time is constraints. For Mr. Adi Prihanto, can you hear my voice?
Yes, yes,
So
please.
you have a question from Mr. Silo Amihan here from Philippines UPHSD. Can you read the on the question box?
Yes.
Okay, the time is yours to answer that question. Thank you.
Okay, I can directly answer it, the moderator. Okay, thank you very much. Hello, Mr. Xie Lilo. This is right.
Yes, yes, right. Thank you.
May I know where are you from?
I'm from the Philippines.
Okay. Okay. Greeting from Indonesia, Mister. Okay. Oh, definitely. This is my first time actually. Thank you very much for the moderator, and then the result of the study definitely is about the effectiveness and feasibility of my curriculum definitely. And then for the product itself, I got the product is whole package of curriculum barista education. The product itself. So the whole package itself divided into three things. First is about the curriculum documents included the structure of curriculum, and then the method of learning, and then the subject itself. The second one is about the lesson plan, and then the third one is about the handbook. That's my three products that I already got it. And then for the main result is definitely from my research about the curriculum development of coffee barista education. I get something that uh, there was progress. There's progress. There is something changing. Could you hear me clearly, Mr. CLU?
Yes, yes, loud
Yeah.
and clear.
There was developing progress, or there is a change, uh, especially for the competences. Because for the first problem, uh, barista only could make something based on coffee. I mean, only make coffee. Is it P60 or Vietnam coffee, Indonesia like that, or and just only coffee? They forgot how to communicate with the customer. They sometimes forgot to how to service the customer. That's the definitely why I developed the curriculum itself, because of that. And then the other problem, definitely there is no still limitless, still few courses in my not my country. I mean my city. It's really still few courses. That's Mr. Cielelo. Is it clear?
Yes,
Answer?
yes. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, thank you. I'm not quite sure if I'm allowed also to add something with that, but thank you for your response.
Yes.
So maybe for all the presenter. Okay, sorry. Thank you very much for Mr. Adi Prihanto and Mr. Celilo for the question and answer. For all the presenter, if you have any question for another presenter, please chat me on the chat box, question box, so that I will read for all the presenter. Please, do you have any question?
bahkan di undang-undang terorisme pun ada beberapa pasal-pasal yang bisa digunakan untuk menjerat para pelaku pengeroyokan, misalnya tentang narkotika.
So I got new question from Miss Arian Lansigan from Philippines. To presenter Mr. Harry Dika, the question is, I'm not sure if I was able to listen or see it properly, but just for clarification, what particular research framework was used in the study of support the objective, and how did you come up with this design? So for Mr. Harry Dika, can you answer the Miss Arian question, please? Hello, Mr. Heridika.
Yes, I'm here.
Time is yours, Mr.
Sorry, can you repeat, please? Or there is the question for me in chat box.
Okay, I will repeat the question. So Miss Erin say, I am not sure if I was able to listen or see it properly, but just for clarification, what particular research framework was used in the study to support the objective, and how did you come up with this design? Can you hear it clearly?
Yes, I can hear that, but I don't. My English is so bad. So can you translate in Indonesian, please?
Okay, wait a minute.
Tolong terjemahkan dalam bahasa Indonesia, Pak Sabil. Saya agak sedikit sulit memahami pertanyaannya. Kemudian di dalam chat box saya tidak melihat mana pertanyaannya ya.
Okay, wait a minute.
Oke.
Sudah saya kirimkan pertanyaannya, Bapak. Maaf.
Saya coba. Belum ada masuk ya, Pak ya?
Ya.
Antara lain dalam perkara nomor 241
This is ini yang for everyone ya.
For everyone.
Sorry, maybe I will explain in Indonesian language ya.
Oke, mohon maaf Bapak,
Oke.
ini saya jelaskan dalam bahasa Indonesia dulu.
Oke, tolong.
Oke. Jadi untuk pertanyaan dari Miss Aryan, saya tidak yakin apakah saya dapat mendengarkan atau melihatnya dengan benar. Tetapi hanya untuk klarifikasi kerangka penelitian khusus apa yang digunakan dalam studi untuk mendukung tujuan dan bagaimana Anda menghasilkan desain ini.
Oke, baik. I will explain in Indonesian. I really sorry. Oke. Jadi kerangka penelitian yang saya gunakan secara garis besar sebenarnya metode atau detailnya adalah studi pustaka pertama, kedua adalah studi atau tinjauan langsung pada objek yakni sekolah menengah atas di wilayah Jawa dan Bali. Nah, tiap wilayah di wilayah Jawa dan Bali totalnya ada 6 wilayah, dan tiap wilayah itu kami mengharapkan kami mengunjungi paling tidak maksimal sebanyak 10 sekolah dan minimal ada 2 sekolah. Oke. Nah, kondisi yang kami lakukan adalah sebenarnya kami mengembangkan framework Moodle. Moodle itu adalah learning management system yang sudah ada, di mana tersedia secara free atau open source dan dapat dikembangkan. Dalam penelitian ini konsepnya adalah penelitian terapan yang dilakukan dengan harapan adalah sekolah melakukan pembelajaran menggunakan learning management system menggunakan atau berbasis video interaktif dengan aplikasi pembandingan antara Webex dengan Zoom. Jadi maksud dan tujuannya sebenarnya adalah menerapkan atau memberikan aplikasi learning management system Moodle, di mana di dalamnya komparasi antara aplikasi meeting Zoom dan aplikasi meeting Webex. Nah, penelitian terapan ini sebenarnya sudah diusulkan 3 atau 4 tahun yang lalu ya. 2018 berarti dilakukannya atau dilaksanakannya, diusulkannya sejak 2017. Kegiatan ini sudah kami lakukan 3 tahun, ini adalah tahun ketiga, dan dalam rangka penelitian hibah dikti. Kemudian tahapan tahun ketiga inilah tahapan evaluasi sebenarnya. Namun paper yang saya bawakan adalah salah satu poin dari pembahasan penelitian tersebut, di mana penerapan Zoom dan penerapan Webex di dalam learning management system Moodle. Nah, itu yang saya maksud, dan itu poin yang ingin kami sampaikan, bahwa sebenarnya metodenya adalah metode penerapan, penelitian tindakan atau penelitian penerapan. Demikian Pak Sabil, mohon dibantu untuk disampaikan.
Oke, terima kasih Pak Heridika. Saya akan mencoba untuk mentranslatekan penjelasan Bapak Heridika dengan menggunakan bahasa Inggris. So, Miss Erin, I will try to translate the Mr. Heridika answer for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wait a minute. The signal is a little bit up down.
So the answer of Mr. Haridika is literature study, direct review study from Java and Bali areas. There is maximum for 10 schools and the minimum for 2 schools. And the framework is by Moodle. Applied research with school expectations uses interactive video from learning. So the research objective is for implemented the Moodle application and compared this Zoom application and Webex application. And this research is from 2017, and this research range from the third years of education, and this research is about evaluation. That's the line of the Mr. Haridika answer.
So, Mr. Arian, can you hear the answer of Mr. Heridika clearly?
Yes, I was able to understand the translation. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. For another question is from Mr. Adi Prihanto for Mr. Selilo. What is the characteristic of self-teaching practices and e-service due to pandemic? Thank you. So for Mr. Selilo, can you answer Mr. Adi Prihanto answer?
Yes.
Question.
Yes, hello. Good afternoon. I just hope I could be heard. It's okay? Is it okay? Could you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you clear.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. Well, with regards to the results of the study, the status really was that it was implemented well. All the indicators for the two sets of or two components that would make up a socio-emotional teaching, those are social interaction and instructional interaction. For all the specific indicators, these were implemented well. However, it must be noted that it's still not on the optimum. There is still room for improvement. It's it's based on a 4-point scale, and when you say it's well implemented, it's just on the third. So the fourth and the highest assessment should have been it should have been implemented or highly implemented. So there's still room for improvement, and I'm stressing that it's because SEL is very important, especially in this time of the pandemic, and yet we are still on that kind of level for implementing SEL teaching. However, the context would be that everyone, including the teachers, were not really highly trained to incorporate SEL, especially for this time of pandemic, wherein instruction is being delivered through online. Most of our classes, only a few students opted for modular. They would be getting the modules at school, and then they would be the ones to take care of their own learning. But most of our students are really on the online framework, and although there would be interaction between the teacher and then the students, there are so many limitations and restrictions that would be very difficult to deliver social emotional learning to the students. But now when we try to adapt to the online platform, still it's being assessed as just implemented well. So although also for context, we just started with the classes during the new normal for our first semester. So it's just on the first stage, first trial, we could say. So there really is still hope for us teachers to be able really to develop ourselves so that we could be able to deliver social emotional learning to the students. Hopefully, based on the results of the study, I could still develop a training uh, based on this. So this would somehow be a training needs analysis, and based on this, then we could tailor fit. But basically, every component of the social emotional teaching should be improved. Should be the teacher should have these competencies. So I just hope that before we would proceed with the second semester of the class, and that would be from January to February, we could have intensive training really both for the teachers and the students, mainly so that they would be more resilient when it comes to the pandemic and integrating resilience in our curriculum. Is it okay?
Okay, thank you for the answer for Mr. Sililo and for Mr. Adi Abianto. Thank you for the question. So, for Mr. Sanusi, are you here?
Basukianto. Mr. Basukianto.
Or Mr. Basukianto?
Basukiatno.
Sorry.
So, excuse me, Mr. Basukiatno. Can you hear my voice? Are you ready in this room? Mr. Basukiatno. So I just want to apologize for all the presenter who not present the topic yet, because we have a little bit trouble in here. Dr. Sanusi here.
So here we want to give the change for the presenter who have not delivered the presentation. So for Mr. Dr. Sanusi or for Mr. Sukiatno, are you here? Or for Mr. Benny Habibi?
So, okay, wait a minute for all the presenter. So yeah, I will read for all the presenter ini who already joined in room 2. Miss Noviar. Miss Noviar, can you hear my voice? No respond.
Mr. Masbur,
Mr. Masbur,
are you with us? Mr. Muhammad Holis, are you here?
Mohon maaf untuk informasi apakah ada daftar hadir. Untuk Bapak Heridika, nanti untuk sistemnya itu kita akan menggunakan sistem ini ya, apa namanya, screenshot ya Pak ya. Jadi untuk para presenter, oh ada linknya. Oke, nanti bakal bakal ada link yang akan dibagikan.
Setia sekali. Yang satu manis. Update Bu.
For Miss Miftahul Jana, can you hear my voice? So you already in room 2? Hello?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay,
So-
Mr. Miftahul Jana. Okay, wait a minute. So, okay, the topic is actualization of nationalism and moderation values in Srijaya Tegal College beliefs. So is that right? Okay. Wait a minute. So I just want to apologize for Mr. Miftahul Jana that we have little problem in here that we already called you but not response yet. Okay, the time is yours, please, Mr. Miftahul Jana.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kami akan presentasi dengan menggunakan bahasa Indonesia seperti di beberapa room yang lain agar lebih interaktif. Kami akan menyampaikan topik dengan judul internalisasi dan aktualisasi nilai-nilai nasionalisme pada ajaran kepercayaan perguruan Trijaya di Kabupaten Tegal. Sebelumnya kami akan share screen. Sebentar. Screennya. Sebentar. Tidak muncul tadiku. Screen. Sebagai proses sambil menunggu PowerPoint, sebagai proses dialektika nasionalisme Indonesia yang bersifat dinamis ini tumbuh dan berkembang sejak abad ke-20 dari nasionalisme kultural yang kemudian ditransformasikan menjadi nasionalisme politik dalam bentuk negara bangsa melalui Pancasila dan Dasar Negara Republik Indonesia tahun 1945. sekalipun sebagaimana diyakini oleh sebagian kalangan, bangunan negara bangsa Indonesia hingga kini belum tergoyahkan, dalam arti nasionalisme ini masih hidup, akan tetapi belakangan ini substansinya agak tergoyahkan dalam praktik demokrasi dan penerapan hukum secara konsekuen dalam kehidupan bermasyarakat dan bernegara. Nah, ini mulai kehilangan arah. Untuk itu perlu ditanamkan sikap nasionalisme tersebut yang sebenarnya ini sejatinya jalan dengan semua agama dan aliran kepercayaan yang ada di Indonesia. Benar. Salah satu organisasi atau komunitas yang menjamur ya, di Indonesia adalah komunitas kepercayaan ataupun yang disebut sebagai penganut kepercayaan terhadap Tuhan Yang Maha Esa, yang salah satunya berada di Kabupaten Tegal bernama Perguruan Trijaya. Perguruan Trijaya ini sebagai perguruan ajaran kepercayaan dengan jumlah anggota paling banyak dibanding yang lainnya di Kabupaten Tegal, kurang lebih 3.000 pengikut. Ini memusatkan kegiatannya di Padepokan Wulan Tumanggal di Desa Duku Tengah, Kecamatan Bojong, Kabupaten Tegal. Penelitian ini mengkaji bagaimana Perguruan Trijaya Tegal memahami dan menghayati ajaran nasionalisme sebagai perwujudan dari sebuah ajaran kepercayaan yang kemudian diaktualisasikan dalam kehidupan keseharian bagi setiap para pengikutnya. Penelitian ini merupakan jenis penelitian kualitatif deskriptif yang menggunakan metode secara spesifik berupa etnografi basis native point of view untuk memperoleh cara pandang pemilik kebudayaan. Metode penelitian ini bersifat kualitatif dan menggunakan metode etnografi. Etnografi ini bertujuan untuk menghasilkan pemahaman apa adanya dan utuh berdasarkan sudut pandang penduduk ataupun objek yang diteliti. Perguruan Trijaya ini didirikan oleh Romo Guru Kanjeng Pangeran Esno Kusnodo Suryaningrat pada 2 Februari 1966 di Kota Tegal, Jawa Tengah. Adapun kegiatan mereka itu dipusatkan di Padepokan Wulan Tumanggal yang berada di Desa Duku Tengah, Kecamatan Bojong, Kabupaten Tegal. Menurut ajaran Trijaya, para putra melalui belajar, menghayati dan mendalami seni bela diri dalam rangka apa? Dalam rangka meningkatkan ketakwaan melalui penghayatan terhadap diri sendiri, alam semesta, serta Tuhan Yang Maha Esa. Konsep internalisasi nilai-nilai nasionalisme yang dilaksanakan di perguruan Trijaya Tegal ini penulis rumuskan menjadi dua hal. Yang pertama adalah internalisasi faktor internal, dan yang kedua adalah internalisasi yang dilatar belakangi oleh faktor eksternal. Adapun yang dimaksud dari internal adalah memasukkan nilai-nilai nasionalisme dalam setiap kegiatan melalui urean, ceramah, atau yang diistilahkan oleh para pengikutnya sebagai pengantar Romo Guru. Nah, pengantar Romo Guru ini senantiasa menitik beratkan pada pedoman berbangsa dan bertanah air, yakni penjabaran nilai-nilai luhur dari Pancasila melalui sila-silanya serta Undang-Undang Dasar tahun 1945. Nah, metode pengantar yang disampaikan oleh Romo Guru pada setiap awal kegiatan ini dirasa mampu diterima oleh para putra, ya, sebutan untuk pengikut putra jaya, Trijaya disebut putra atau murid. Ini tujuannya melalui pengantar ini putra putri ini bisa menjadi warga negara yang baik dan bisa memberikan kontribusi dalam memajukan bangsanya di masa yang akan datang. Nah, sedang faktor eksternal dapat kami tarik benang merah dalam perwujudan kesadaran akan sejarah bangsa yang tumbuh dan berkembang dalam diri setiap individu para putra perguruan Trijaya Tegal. Adapun aktualisasi nilai-nilai nasionalisme, nasionalisme ini sebagai suatu ideologi ini memerlukan aktualisasi sesuai perubahan yang dihadapi. Aktualisasi nilai-nilai nasionalisme pada perguruan Trijaya Tegal ini bukan melalui beberapa hal, antara adanya syukuran, perayaan hari-hari nasional yang bersejarah. Aktualisasi yang lain adalah rela berkorban dan cinta tanah air, juga sebagai salah satu perwujudan aktualisasi nilai-nilai nasional oleh para putra, menjadi indikasi dari aktualisasi nilai-nilai nasionalisme. Ini adalah sikap para putra yang menerima kemajemukan. Maka dalam konteks perguruan kurang yang berarti menunjukkan ucapan syukur atau bersyukur kepada Tuhan yang Maha sembuh dari penyakit dan dilakukan oleh perguruan Trijaya seperti memperingati Hari Kartini dan peringatan. Sisi lain, para putra telah mereka dinyatakan berhasil. Putra mengadakan yang Maha Esa, gerahnya lewat bimbing kan dalam momen-momen syakti ketika para putra atau putri dalam gubah di perguruan untuk memotivasi agar senantiasa letak nilai-nilai nasionalisme dan tumbuh Indonesia. Para putra perguruan Trijaya oleh itu dengan yang tadi dengan cara memberikan sumbangsih berupa pikiran, berupa tenaga, dana, dan segala hal yang mampu mensukseskan tadi korban yang ditanamkan oleh aktualisasi Trijaya Tegal ini kemajemukan diri bahwa para di perguruan Trijaya ini agama atau kultur sosial yang berbeda akan hampir antara satu kita ini mampu menerima adanya kemajemukan. Ya, sikap mampu menerima setiap perbedaan ini wejangan dalam setiap penganut yang disampaikan serta peneliti Pancasila serta Undang-Undang Dasar 1945 sebagai acuan dalam memahami kan baik dalam berbangsa, bermasyarakat, dalam ranah politik praktis dan tentunya juga hal peribadatan. Itu kan dalam
Maaf untuk Bapak Idman Aulia Rahman, untuk waktunya sudah habis untuk presentasi.
Putra ini menyadari bahwa tensi sosial atau konflik sudah sepatutnya dikesampingkan dengan upaya mengeliminasi setiap potensi konflik. Kesadaran ini terus dibangun oleh masing-masing putra perguruan Trijaya, bukan karena adanya aturan, ada ART, terus mengabdi, berbuat baik. Terima kasih moderator.
Oke, terima kasih untuk Bapak Miftahul Jannah presentasi yang telah disampaikan. So here the moderator will translate the
into
presentation.
English. So the first point is introduction, lecture, or father guru. The use of the introductory term is defined as beginning that must be followed up by the sons, namely by being lived and then carried out. And then the nationalism itself is simply understood as loving as Indonesian nation. Loving the Indonesian nation meaning having a sense of belonging and being responsible for everything that Indonesian people have. Actualization of nationalism values. The first point is Thanksgiving celebration on National Day with a tumpengan and ampengan. So this is a traditional food in Indonesia. The second one is willing to the sacrifice and love the country. And the point three is reserve plurality. So yeah, that is the point of Mr. Miftahul Jannah presentation. So we have another presenter maybe for Mr. Basukiyatno, excuse me.
Are you here?
Hello.
We have the change for you to deliver your presentation. But if not respond yet, so we will close the conference.
Hello, Mr. Basukiyatno. So, can you hear my voice?
Okay, if there is no
Wait a minute. For Mr. Samsul Hadi, are you already staying in room 2? Mr. Samsul Hadi. So it's still not respond. Okay.
Okay, sorry for the presenter that not respond us. So we will close the conference now, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, we come to the end part of our presentation. We would like to say thank you very much to our discussant and all of the presenters for your participation in this first international conferences on social science, humanities, education, and society development. We also thank the conference participants for your attention. Hopefully, the presentations will give us more insights and inspiration for the improvement of inclusive sustainability. See you in the next international conference hosted by Universitas Pancasakti Tegal. Goodbye.
So for all the presenter, I just want to remind you, moderator are already send the link attendance list on the chat box. So if you want to do attendance list, if you want to enter the attendance list, you can join that link to do your attendance list today. So yeah, just want to remember. Okay, thank you very much for all the presenter who already joined this international conference who held from University Pancasakti Tegal. So thank you very much for Mr. Dr. Kundaru who already joined with us today, and for all the participant and presenter. So see you on the next international conference. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome, Mr.
Okay. Should we leave room or stay in here first?
Wait a minute. We can do a photo session maybe like here. Wait a minute.
Yes.
So for all the presenter, you can do your pose because we will do some photo session as a documentation for this event. Wait a minute. So for all the participant and the presenter, can you turn on your video, please? For all the participants, please turn on your video because we will do some photo for documentation session.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Done.
So you could leave this room now. Thank you for the participation.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.
Akan loro wis, Om.